Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to you sincere, hopeful, elect brothers and sisters listening and learning, and to you brothers preaching and teaching the truth through the four corners of the earth. This is the brother Nathan, come out of the GMS Indianapolis camp. Come back with a quick one through the spirit. It's a clip off of, found off of X here recently of was Trump. Trump said he will use the U.S. military into cities via the Insurrection Act because he pulled out of like Chicago and was Portland, Oregon, and I think Washington D.C. as well. You know, I see. You know, he was activating the National Guard and other military personnel to, take down the crime of the city. So supposedly, even though, like, if you look at the stats, like, crime had been down, but, it's all schemes and traps, snares and traps with Esau, the so-called white man. He puts these things in play so for a bigger event later, especially when you get the people used to seeing military personnel on the streets, in the everyday life, and get them used to the fact that there's going to be military involved in everything they do. Eventually, when they start to lock down these cities, and when things really get bad, when people run to the streets, what I'm saying? Because as we know, Yahweh Shemel Shai is stirring up the spirit of these people. Because, like I said, the Lord coming with, he wants division, All right, he said he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right, the modern day Egyptians is what? These Edomites. All right. So I'm going to play this video and get a couple precepts and we'll close this out.
Portland, we got it down to almost no crime. Do you know that? But we pulled it out. We had a Supreme Court decision. We can go back. We're allowed to go back in. But we'll go back in when the crime starts. Look, the crime will soon start because they now know that we're out. And at the appropriate time, we'll go back in. And we may, if we're allowed to. The most powerful thing we haven't used the Insurrection Act.
You're considering using the Insurrection Act?
I've always considered it, but we haven't needed it anywhere. 48% of the presidents of this country have used it. Bush used it, I think, 22 times or something. You know that, right? I mean, Bush the elder. Portland.
Yeah, so you hear it. You see it. You hear it. All right, and let's go to, I got it pulled up here already. It's the Insurrection Act of 1807. It says the Insurrection Act of 1807 is the U.S. federal law that empowers the President of the United States to nationally deploy the U.S. military and to federalize the National Guard units of the individual states in specific circumstances, such as the suppression of civil disorder, of insurrection, and of armed rebellion. And that situation is going to happen soon. All right. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And how do we measure the times? With the prophecies of the scriptures. Okay? We're lining up and filtering the world we live in today with the current events, and tie it into the scriptures. Okay? Just like we're seeing now as these wars and rumors of war. All right, we just had, Trump come in and snatch up Maduro, right, and his wife. Even though that seems pretty, they're looking a little, I don't know, fishy because just the spirit Maduro was in when he got, you see the video of him getting, when he made it to New York and coming out, he's wishing everybody a Happy New Year and all that. It's like, you just got snatched out of your place. So that seemed fishy. But anyways, and it says, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I've told these before, see, we're We only need to see parts of the signs fast to know that what Yahweh Shemashah is coming. All right, it's the rest of these people in this world that are blinded. See, us of the hopeful elect, of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, those of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, we're seeing what's going on. All right, we're in the know. All right, like I said, these people, you know, they can't tell because the Lord's got them blinded. Like it says, Romans 11:7. It says, for the election have obtained and the rest were blinded, because at the end of the day, it's all about the elect of the nation of Israel. It says, verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and when we're seeing that on a regular, more earthquakes than ever in the known history, right? And it says, and uproars of the people in the world. See, and that's happening across the four corners of the earth. All these different countries rioting and protesting, like in Iran right now, and people are upset about in Venezuela. Yeah, some are happy, some are upset. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, right? Because all this playing out is according to the Lord's movie. And it says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And that's what's happening. Now, see, these uproars, that's what's going to trigger that 1807 Insurrection Act. Okay? Because, matter of fact, prophecy, right? 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Verse 14, it says, woe to the world, right? So destruction to the world, and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? We know the modern day sword is the gun. Yeah, and or swords, hey, it doesn't matter. Any type, sword is any type of killing instrument. All right, it'd be guns, missiles, grenades, baseball bat, kitchen knife, you name it. People are going to go at each other, all right, and destroy each other for what? Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men. See, sedition, I mean, what? It's like an outroar, cry out to what? Cause, to go against the government. The ruling powers, That's sedition. When you're not causing, but you're speaking out against the government, and you're speaking out to for people to rebel against the authorities, right? So that's where that Insurrection Act would come in. Once you get the people wild up and they start looting and terrorizing cities and destroying things, especially when there becomes a lack of goods here soon. When the Lord brings these famines upon the earth, they're gonna do that. All right, to the point, guess what? They're gonna have to gun people down, and people are gonna actually fight against the military. Not just throw a damn Subway sandwich, because that's what happened in Washington D.C. Motherfucker hit him with a foot long, got put to jail. Hitting. That they ended up releasing that dude, but that was an attack. It says, among men, it says, in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand under power. It says, a man shall desire to go into his city and shall not be able. Right, and this is why, like I said, this devil's crafty, man. They're already getting things in play. The practices have been happening. Just like that project Jade Helm years back, where they were practicing and doing drills in the local, in cities in America to, get ready for like urban combat, So that in the practicing, so that's what's about to happen. All right, because mind you, for the Americas, it's like this Venezuelan, you know, deal where you know now you're taking control of the oil and the resources, the gold, the silver, everything that comes with it. So it seems like, oh yeah, good, America's up now. Now we're back in control. You know, the dollar's gonna be all right, gas is gonna be cheap, blah blah blah. All right, but hey, the scriptures also say what? When they say peace and safety, then what? Sudden destruction cometh upon them. All right, that's that First Thessalonians 5:3. So that's what's gonna happen. You know, these people ain't ready for what's about to happen. Esau, Edom's gonna, like it says, Revelation 12:12 says, and the devil shall come down having great wrath, seeing what that he has a short time. All right, so that's why you see Esau, you know, just doing shit at a fast pace, high rate. All right, they're trying to get this new world order system set up, you know, via the MOT to the B. All right, that Revelation 13 and 16, that charagma, that micro C hip. All right, these are the things that are coming upon the face of the earth. All right, World War III is on the horizon, but it won't be in total capacity until that chip gets put out as a mandatory form of payment. All right, so there's a lot going on right now. All right, here it is, January just turned right now, midnight on mine, so January 7th now today. And look how much has happened so far. All right, showing you that what Yahweh Shemel Shai is speeding this up for the elect's sake. I'll get that, and we'll just end that on there. No, actually, I'll get something else too. This is Matthew 24, and I'll start at verse. Actually, 21, and it says, Matthew 24 and 21. For there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And that's why you see things speeding up. All right, because things are getting real bad out here. All right, we're in the midst of the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. Like we've seen that with the northern kingdom and part of the southern kingdom getting deported and wrangled up and snatched up and people going missing. All right. So this is the times we're in. All right. So the Lord is speeding things up even faster. Like 2025 blew through, right? And 2026 is following suit. If anything, at a higher pace. Like I said, all the things that have happened so far just in a week's time. You know, it's you know, about to be on the, like I said, on the 7th day of the year. There's already a whole bunch going on. All right. So we're in some exciting times, and it's gonna be some trying. We're gonna be all tried. All right. Yahweh Shemel Shai is gonna try us. Those are the hopeful elect. But that's what we gotta have our faith on 144%, because the Lord said he would deliver us out of these things, that he'd be with us. All right. So right now, like I said, you can still go to work. You can still still go get your little drink, your little wine, and get some food. All right. There's still a quote unquote normal society, going so far, even with everything happening. But shortly, this thing's getting ready to be turned upside down. All right. And we're praying and hastening the times that this does happen, because we know it's a necessity for this place to fall for us to get to the kingdom. All right. So with that, I pray that it was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. And I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great minister who rule well. Kwam Yasharallah, Shalom.